Welcome back to the YTG podcast.
Welcome.
You are new here. My name is Nico. I'm an automotive photographer and now amateur racing driver.
I'm Sean, and I am the owner of this lovely shed in Keysborough, YTG Young Timers Garage.
Here
Welcome.
on the weekly-ish YTG podcast, we're going to give you the sort of inside scoop inside the automotive industry in Australia, as well as some fantastic stories, motorsport, anything car related. So, and a bit of electric car hate. Join us on another episode, and we hope you enjoy. Welcome back to another episode.
Yes.
Episode 4 of Season 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
We've got a special guest with us this week. His name is Robert Summons, and he owns the race car I drive.
Yes,
amongst
Summons.
many other things. So we'll introduce him. We'll get him to talk a little bit about his past and how he's become to be this amazing person sitting beside us today. And then we'll get on to Summons Racing and what's actually going on in the world of that, which is awesome. So
exciting for you guys.
Please introduce yourself.
All right. My name's Rob Summons. I'm 31. I run a retail cosmetic company, an e-commerce company. I also run Summons Racing.
What's the commerce company? E-commerce?
So that's Mantan.
Mantan. That's the man behind Mantan.
Which is...
I use it.
Works very well.
I'm albino, really.
Which was, it was a very interesting story as I ended up into that. And obviously a business investor to the side, and just a lover of cars.
Yeah.
So, married, 2 kids. And
the cool stuff. Don't worry about
it's the cool stuff.
Just talk about the cool stuff, the cars.
Cars. Love supercars.
You've always been into racing?
So racing, funny enough, came later on in life.
I met you guys, I met you when I was doing my time at...
Lawbeck.
Correct. And we went on that Targa Florio.
Correct.
And you boys were in an R8, which I could hear from Sydney.
Yeah,
that's where I first... I just had started, and we had just first met too.
Correct.
And you two were in that car. I remember that. That's when we first met.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's fucking epic.
Yeah, so that would have been probably the second race car. The first one we had was a 34 Skyline GTT.
Yeah.
I'd say the R8 would have been the second race
GTT,
car.
that's the single turbo?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so it's literally the model just under the GTR.
GTR, correct.
Yeah, it's a single turbo manual rear-wheel drive kind of thing. So it's not all-wheel drive and it's not the twin turbo RB26.
Okay.
But yeah, it's and we pulled that out of a rec yard as our first race experience, rebuilt it and got out racing kind of thing.
That was
awesome.
That was sort of the start of our racing. Like,
Yeah,
let's
it really
give this a
was,
shot.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Got pictures of us boys just working on this thing and trying to bring it back to life because we said, let's go and buy a cheap one, or whatever we could find that was a cool car.
Yeah,
Get into it. So
Man, that was so long ago.
that was a long time ago.
So
How long would that be?
ago.
About 5-6 years?
5.
at
So I
least?
think Facebook Memories came up, didn't it?
Yeah,
It was
5-6 years. So the
ago,
racing is 5-6 years ago.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
I've known Nico for much longer than that.
Yeah.
We met obviously through hockey.
You're a hockey guy too?
Hockey player.
So
fuck, they're all hockey, ice hockey.
Ice hockey, yeah, because Tristan's ice hockey
That's
as
what
well.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
When I fucking saw the bags, I'm like, the fuck? And they're like, mate, there's a lot of gear there, man, with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an
Mate,
expensive
amazing.
sport.
So you ice hockey too?
Yeah, ice hockey and inline hockey as
Okay,
well.
cool.
Myself and Nico played inline hockey back when we were little kids, like 8.
Really young, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So slightly different age division, but
Yeah, because Rob's a bit older than me, obviously. I'm 27, he's 31. So back when I'm 8 and he's 12,
Sure.
you're not talking to each other back then, right?
Yep.
So we knew who each other were.
Yeah.
The name is recognisable, but it's not like we would have ever spoken or anything like
just
that.
later on as the...
Yeah. I mean, once you're in adults, right? The age difference doesn't mean as much later on.
Mate, I've got clients that got their wives 30 years younger.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there going, fucking 30. He wasn't even born, mate.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But now I'm fucking 70. It doesn't make a difference. I go, yeah, it doesn't, is it?
No,
Really?
no, it doesn't make a
It's funny when you
difference.
think of it that way.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while,
Yeah.
yeah. And then as soon as we got sort of adults and got into cars, and then Nico saw, it was a locker room conversation. Oh, you're into cars, I'm into cars. And then it was a conversation, as we said, that started and hasn't stopped to this
Yeah,
day.
journey where you are now.
It was hilarious because after the training session, we're getting undressed. There's sort of two. There's one for the main team and then one for sort of like the extras and stuff.
Yeah.
We're both in the quiet one. And he was talking to someone else and he mentioned R35 GTR.
Okay.
And I clued onto that, listened for an extra minute, and I thought, I went, you don't own an R35 GTR. And he went, yeah, I own an R35 GTR. And I went, and a GTR, like we're talking about the same thing here, right? Yeah, and I was like, holy shit, we need to be friends. He offered to,
That's gross.
I wasn't able to pay for parking back then, so I used to park ages away from the rink. So he offered to drive me down to where I'd parked.
Okay, cool.
We got to my car, we got out, and we were talking about the GTR, we were talking about Lambos.
Yeah.
2 hours later, he still hadn't left. Like, we were still by my car talking. It was
that's gross.
just, it was just like, boom, it just, set. So
That was the time for the connection
exactly
to go.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, how many cars have you owned since then? Oh my God.
Yeah, I actually, I was trying to go through a list of cars. I think I'm 50, 60, so I don't know, 70 cars maybe
Yeah,
that
that's
I've
fucking gross.
owned through the history of time.
Yeah.
Because for me, before I knew Nico and the guys that said, come down to the highway and meet all these car community type people, my car history was, getting a car, upgrading it, and fixing it up, and then moving to the next car. And just trying to get
flipping,
into
basically,
flipping cars. Like I started, the story is I started with a BMX bike, flipped that for a mountain bike, got a Kia Rio, I think it was, that had flames painted on it, and cleaned it back to a standard car to then flip that for another car.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
it was just flipping these cars to get better and better cars. But I lived out in the Yarra Valley, and there's the good mountain roads, Donoghue Lang, everything like that. And so my passion came from driving roads, and so I wasn't really part of a car community, even though I had these crazy cars kind of thing. So just getting out and driving and enjoying these cars that I was working on and building and driving. And then, I met these young blokes that all had hatchbacks. It was just a crew of hatchbacks. And they were like, come do a mountain run. And you'd see me in like the black Lambo and 8 hatchback P-platers. And it's like, but I loved the vibe that they had. They were driving enthusiasts that really wanted to be out there. Like same as Nico and his dad, that just crazy about cars, which is the same as me. And I went, even though I was in different cars, I wanted to be part of what they were doing. So
it's cool.
I still remember a night at Highway on Princess Highway, and he was in his black Lambo, and he's cruising along, and I'm in my Barina. I'm just manging this Barina. Pull up next to him. We're doing 60-ish, just cruising. In between the lights, there's no one else around us. It's just us two. And I'm looking at him through the window. He's got his missus in the passenger seat. I'm downshifting. His missus is going, no. And I turn around and look at my mirror, and there's a highway patrol right behind Rob. Because he's come to get the Lambo, and I'm sitting there about to ming my
You see?
mate.
Black Lambos.
Yeah, 100%. That was the night they asked you if you were a drug dealer, didn't they?
They pulled up beside us. I think I had James in the car because I was picking people up and go up and down and show people what the car was and everything like that. And they come and go, tell us it's stolen. No. Tell us it's your dad's. No. You drug dealer? I'm like, mine. I'm just showing my friends some cars.
Like, good times.
Yeah.
So there's
That's epic.
It's been some fun times, definitely. And I think we got a permit so you could drive that car on your P's as well.
That was my first ever supercar was his first Gallardo on P plates. Yeah, rocking it.
That's fucking cool.
Rocking
was
it.
it manual or e-gear?
It was e-gear.
Yeah.
It was e-gear. It was a pig of a thing.
They are.
First generation, 04
Hang
Gallardo.
on. You're 20-something and you're cruising around the Gallardo. I mean, that's still pretty fucking gangster.
I set a goal
Still
for
pretty
myself
gangster.
to be under 25,
Yeah.
and that was my, your poster, your dream
mate,
car,
well done.
and I said that was what I was aiming for
champion.
to get
That's
to achievement. And I think I spent more money keeping that car on the road than what the car cost me. And they got to that point where it's like, okay, you need to let this thing go. Granted, I upgraded it as I went and made it a better car, but it went, okay, I'm spending more on this car than what it was worth. So, but it was a crazy thing. The sound sound that came out was insane.
Yeah, they
Oh
did,
yeah, so that was the early one with the scream, the proper scream.
Yeah, first
And we'd straight piped it.
Yeah, nice.
Completely straight piped it. Done all the work to it. The noise through the mountains off the hills was insane. So,
yeah, they do sound epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I mean, and that's pretty big, man. Fucking.
Yeah, that was
credit to you, mate. You worked hard. You wanted it.
It was a lot of work to get there, but
mate, nothing comes fucking easy,
No,
brother.
nothing
Fuck
comes
me,
easy.
mate. Everyone
No.
fucking goes, mate. There ain't no fucking elevator. You got to take the stairs, mate.
Yeah.
It's just not.
And it's been worth it because I say today I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for Supercars. Which is a strange one because people say Supercars are a cost and everything like that. And I say the network of people that I've met.
Yeah.
And I say the Mantan wouldn't exist.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for that black Lambo because the people I met and said, we want you to invest, like we see you in this black Lambo, you're a cool guy, everything like that. We love this idea that we've got. Can you come and be a part of it?
Awesome.
And I wouldn't be running that and doing that now if it wasn't for that. And many other things like racing, I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for Supercars.
And again, it's funny when you say that because, again, doing this for a while, you talk to certain people and it's actually, I've got a number of clients that they bought their first supercar, you want to call it, or something epic or exotic we're talking about.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of positives where that's actually because of that, it's triggered something that's happened.
Really, doors open.
It's quite interesting
Yeah.
somehow. Obviously, sometimes it's the opposite of that. But it's good to hear that because of that, it's sort of, because it just, you see the way the ball just ting, 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 ting. It's quite
100%.
good. That's when you see that one, like, yeah, that's true. You do hear that quite a bit.
Yeah. So it's definitely been the case for me.
Yeah, good.
From who I've met through the Supercars and everything like that has opened business doors and networking doors. That's just been. I wouldn't have a racing team. I wouldn't be in the business that I get to run myself if it wasn't for Supercars. So,
Yeah, man, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
I like to say that the Lotus has paid itself off in opportunities that I've found because of the things that I've gone to or the way people have treated me because I rocked up in it. All that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
When you add it all up and all the things that never would have happened
There's
if I
been
didn't
so
have
many
that car.
pluses for having it.
Yeah.
And even the for getting the networking side, having a cool car would get people to come up and talk to you. Like I love the the kids who come up and like, can I come and sit in it? And the dad's like, oh, it's Lambo or whatever, and it's just like getting to meet people that you never would have met, never would have talked to at a petrol station in a normal car. You know what I mean? So I just want to come up and talk to you about their car and their projects and what they're working on. And I'm excited about all cars. I'm not like, oh, I want supercars. I've had in the range of cars anything to anything. Just all crazy things.
But we were saying this before. You're just a love of cars.
Yeah.
You can find. I can find the good things in pretty much nearly anything. Nearly anything.
Nearly anything.
Nearly
Yes, there
anything.
is some exceptions.
That pink Lincoln
nearly.
is
Nearly anything.
Yeah.
That's nearly anything.
Yeah.
That's go up and down like Stephen took the kids up and down, and it just looks so fucking funny. I mean,
that's true. That's true. I can appreciate the looks of that car. So yes, you're right.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's I mean, I think that's the thing. If you're a lover of cars, of course, if you're blessed to be able to have that sort of stuff, that's cool because that's generally the most aspiration in most blokes.
Yeah.
They want that red Ferrari, the black Lambo, the fucking the red Porsche, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's actually, we were saying this before, you do it because you love it, not because that's fucking small deal.
Worth money or anything like that.
I'm going to pull that chick or what.
Yeah.
No, you buy because you really want that kind of car, man.
Yeah.
That's it. That's when you're going to really love it because you go, the satisfaction, the reward of, and that's what I'm saying, to me, the best time I've ever had with the supercar is by myself with no one around. Not following anyone, just in the fucking car. I remember the first time in Sydney when I jumped in a Lambo. I jumped in it. It was a Sunday. And I remember Robert, the owner, he's like, go for a long drive. Everyone knows I say Robert talk. I love you, Robert. You're the best. And Captain goes, just take it. And I remember jumping in the car, filled it up, and I drove to like Newcastle way by myself.
Yeah.
Didn't give a fuck. He's looking at this black cunt and this fucking Diablo just cruising. But it was just, just one by myself because I wanted to be with that car. Not because I wanted to cruise down Bondi and
Yeah.
No, I just
Yeah.
That's for me what the car is.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
side of it. Just
Yeah.
to be with that opportunity.
Be with the car.
They go, when is the best time you drive the convertible? On a warm night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That to me is the
beautiful.
best.
Yeah.
Warm night, to me, one of the best nights I could ever have would be like an old school with pipes, manual, okay, a 355 Spider, roof down, warm night, 2B Millimigli pipes by myself, and it's all second, third, fourth, third, fourth, and just cruising up, down. Don't have to go fast, but just,
Yeah.
I'm a happy place.
Yeah.
I'm a happy place. I couldn't think of anywhere nicer for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's, again, the experience of it. Not an Aventador or not a SF90 around a racetrack. No, that's not for me. That's grouse too, but no, that's for me, yeah. And that's the thing, like you said, just that pureness of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So run through the history from there. It was R35, then it was black Lambo.
So I bought the R35 when I was on my P's. Couldn't drive it.
Which is hilarious.
That's grouse.
I had to get my girlfriend, now wife, to drive it home from New South Wales at the time. Waited
grouse.
in the garage for a couple of months till I could drive it. Got to finally drive that for a little while. Took that down the highway and everything for the first time, and got to meet you guys. And then then went to the black Lambo. Spent money on that, keeping it alive. But it got to experience the supercar and went, this is amazing. Went to a grey Superleggera.
That was
2008.
Lorbeck. So that's where the world starts to collide.
Which was originally a Dutton car. The first time I ever saw
Yes.
it was actually in the bottom level of Dutton, and went, I want that car. And then they just moved it over there. And I went, I don't care where I buy it from, I just want that car. Then one of my best experiences with that was just driving to the Volare party, I think, just down the freeway.
Yeah.
Beautiful by myself, same thing, just the beats on, everything like that.
I didn't like the Superleggera as much.
The first gen are the one to buy. Okay, the first gen. The second gen, not so, because they did it because they realised it was a success and they could have sold more. They didn't, and they toned it down. The first gen are raw.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna, like, again, only because I've advised a number of clients, not that there's many around, and they've still got them. They haven't sold them.
Yeah.
They're not the nicest things to drive, but they're the right ones to have.
Car. I do miss
Superleggera,
that. We always go back
first
to the
gen
black.
Superleggera.
We do miss
yeah,
the
the
noise
first
and the rawness of it.
raw,
raw. So, and then I think I went to a CLK 350 and a weird sort of
when
thing,
you
which was
when
my
you
first
go-
convertible.
Okay,
funny enough. Got to experience
Great convertible, actually.
Yeah, and it had a couple of Audi TTs and stuff, and just sort of went a little bit away from supercars. And then that was also because of the point where the cop presence and going for a drive, even if you're just going for a spirited drive, was becoming a problem. And then I think that was about the point we were starting to talk about racing. I think
The R8 happened in there somewhere.
Yes,
as well.
the R8. So the R8 was an interesting one because that was actually I bought that at the same time as the CLK, and that was a write-off. And the plan was to rebuild it. We rebuilt it and everything like that. Turn it into a Targa race car to do Targa High Country, Targa Tasmania, everything like that.
Yeah.
So that was, we'd done already the 34 previously, and then, we built this R8 straight piped it, went nuts with it. Probably
was
the loudest
crazy.
R8 you could think
Yeah, it
of.
was fucking
So it did all the Targa Florios on trade plates.
Yeah, I remember they had the
Yes.
trade plate on it.
Yeah.
So I'm in that 458, and I'm driving, and I could fucking hear, and I was like, the fucking trade plate. That's fucking grouse.
Yeah,
That's
because it
grouse.
was built for special events. It was meant to go and do Targas and actual racing, and we're taking it down to Sandown and racing it. And then it was like, we're doing Florio. We're like, well, we can take it on trade plates for a special event. There was that. And then, I think would have been next after that would have been...
I think you sold the R8 for the Nismo.
For the Nismo.
Yeah, which is
the race
sitting
car
below us.
Sitting downstairs.
Sort of seen it. It's the GT3 downstairs.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which we had at the Cars and Coffee on display with the Hyper Racer as well.
Yep.
That was a big project. A huge project which sort of took up all the time, which was an 8-month build, but it took 3 years because of COVID.
Because of COVID.
Yeah. So, and that was our first go of saying, all right, let's write, because Targa at the time was getting, again, harder. They were having more accidents, more expensive. And so, we said, let's go to track. I think
Exactly
that was,
right. Yeah. And I remember having the conversation at the time because it was the Targa car would rather do proper track racing, and Rob's a all or nothing kind of guy. If he was going to do track racing, it needed to be against Shane Van Gisbergen. So what does he do? He goes and finds a GT3 car, a fully fledged professional
I love it,
GT3
mate. That's
car.
the same way. You're going to be a bear, be a fucking grizzly. You know,
way
the
back,
way to do it.
way back then, I was going, mate, you're never going to be able to drive the friggin' thing.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So that was. Did you want to talk much about the build and the accident and the crash and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, we can, I guess. It was a project. Brett Hobson had brought the two Nissans into Australia because there was no Nissans here.
Because it actually is a significant car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
They were only being raced in America, and Japan would sometimes bring the teams over. But it was pretty much only Audis and Mercs and stuff and Porsches here racing. So he'd brought two in from America to race here. One of them, they both did the Bathurst 12 hour, and then one of them was crashed, not by himself, by another driver in the 2017 12 hour.
It was 16.
16 12 hour. And then it was pushed out the back, put in a shipping container, and never touched. And it just sat there. And because everyone was kind of scared to take it on, as well as just the cost to repair it. You pay a professional team to repair a car like that. It just costs
Hundreds of thousands.
hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Plus also
Was it
parts.
front or rear?
Front
Both.
and rear. Actually, yeah.
Yeah. So you're coming down through the S's.
Yeah.
And it's
It was a Bathurst 12 hour.
at Bathurst, coming down the hill.
Yep.
It's taken too much speed, hit the wall on the left.
Oh, so
and
it's
then
gone
speared down into the wall on the right.
okay,
So it's
right.
both sides of the car. It's front and back.
Yeah,
It's,
nice.
nasty.
Yeah.
So, the normal process is, new frame and sort of do all that. But, so we took it on because at the time I was looking at the S5000s, which was new. We didn't know where that series
That was
gonna
when
go.
the S5000 was brand new.
Brand new. So they said to me, come
The
down.
open wheeler S5000s. Yeah.
It was
Oh,
brand
okay,
new.
yeah,
And they
yeah.
said, come down and sit and have one and everything like that. And I said, I'd watched so many open categories start and fail. And I just went, I don't know where it's going to go. It's a lot of money, a lot of risk. I knew GT had been a constant for many years. And I went, all right, well, so the options is that. I went and spoke to teams about Formula 3, and they said, you've got to rebuild the whole thing after every round. I just went, it's too much work. I've got me and these few car mates that I'd met, So we went, let's take this on, and we'll learn it as we built it.
Yeah,
so,
fucking
and I
awesome.
just spent many nights just researching the book and learning it. So I can tell that car by the back of my hand now, like every nut and bolt
Honestly,
in
it's
it.
fucking mate credit to what you guys have done.
So
The learning curve has been
Yeah, that's what I mean.
steep.
That's why it's just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably good to note that when the Nismo was bought, that was when Summons Racing was formed as well.
Was formed, yes,
Yeah.
around that Nismo.
Yeah, that's- yeah.
And we started the YouTube channel, which wasn't about, we thought, some people might be interested, and a lot of YouTube channels would have been, what we'd done previously with rebuilding cars would have been probably excited to see all the stuff that we'd done previous to that. And we sort of went, well, we'll film this because this is different.
Yeah.
And also because more so, we just wanted it as a film for ourselves to go back and look at. It wasn't about views. It wasn't about any of that sort of stuff. It was just, we want to film this process of what we're going to do because we thought it'd be cool to look back at what we achieved.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a big achievement.
Yeah.
To have the balls to do it,
Yeah.
to take the challenge on to do it, and doing it yourselves over a period of time and half got learner plates on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone thought we were nuts. Everyone
but
thought,
that's
even
right. But that's
this guy's
grouse.
like, are you sure you want to do this? And unfortunately, it did also come out of a bit of a bad time because business was struggling, and I'm going, my headspace wasn't in the best spot. And I went, I need a project.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person that I love just getting in a garage, putting the music on, and cars my happy
Doing your
place.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, talked to the wife about it and went, I want to buy this because I want something that is a challenge for me because rebuilding cars almost wasn't a challenge at that point. I went, I want a real challenge so that I will sink my teeth into it and not think about what the rest of life's going on so that I could rebuild myself with that car.
I was going to say,
So, and it did that.
Yeah,
So,
awesome.
Yeah, it was a big project, but we were able to get it, and so it's built now.
Yeah,
So,
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Have you had it
driven
out?
it yet? Haven't driven
Haven't
it
driven it
Yeah,
yet. So we
yeah.
took it down to Sandown and unfortunately had our throttle position in a sense of fail on us.
Sure.
So
you didn't get it out at all?
Didn't get it out at all. Since then we've had it back. We've had it running, run through the systems, got it spinning, everything like that. Like I drive down the driveway with it. But unfortunately we had a radiator leak that we need to fix. And then what sort of happened was I had another kid and then this guy got me to sit in a hyper racer.
That slowed the Nismo down.
And that
a
slowed
bit.
the whole thing down. So
Yeah, no, we were talking about this. I'm going to get one next year.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she only wants on.
Sure, you want
Yeah,
one?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
They are a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing. Like I was saying to before, Steve and I have been talking about it. We work fucking hard, mate. We want to start to now do something not crazy, but something that we can enjoy. I'm not there to fucking be at the front of the field, and we're weighing it all up. A cup car's got a decent cup car, but it's the fucking maintenance on the prick.
Maintenance, yeah.
And mate, it's way beyond our limits. So we're going to damage the car more than the car.
Yeah.
So you sit there, and that's what weighing up, listening to all you guys, watching what's happening, seeing them out there, and then we said, you know what? So I was saying to them, I said, no, I think that's the way we're going to go. We're just going to get them. We just give them some money at the start. It didn't take fucking 6-7 months to build a bastard anyways, and then go, again, okay, we'll pick it up at the end of the quarter.
Yeah.
Just so I'm ready, and then that's what I said, we're going to go to Winton, whether we hire a track or whatever, and just work out what it's going to cost, get out there, just get immersed in and go, yeah, this is where we want to be.
Yeah.
And just have some fun with that. That's it.
Yeah.
No, I don't give a shit for fucking, I'm chasing in the back. I don't care.
Yeah,
I just want to.
Yeah, just have fun. Yeah. Bang for buck, there is nothing.
That's what I mean. It seems to be fucking the way it is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you've got the pinnacle, it's credit to you, like you've got a GT3 downstairs, GTR.
Yeah.
One of two, historically, pretty significant car in terms of what it is in Australia.
Yeah, so one of four in Australia, and I think they've only made 20 of them worldwide.
Yeah, okay. Well,
but I mean, most GT cars, there's 200, 300 of them.
That's
So
what I'm
the
saying.
Nissan
So
was
it's
very
pretty
rare.
special.
Yeah.
So you've got that, and soon, hopefully, you'll get it out and experience it. Probably go, the Winton, I would imagine.
Yeah, we
out
plan
there,
to early next year get out to Winton and
February,
do a test.
hopefully.
February sort of thing. We're going to spend over
But
this
you're going
break.
to aim for, 12 hours?
So February is actually right when this 12 hour is on.
Yeah.
So the plan is to go and run in some local season stuff as well, and then the Fanatec GT World Series here in Australia.
When's that?
That is
That's the 6-round championship.
6-round championship run here in Australia that I would race against, like your Shane Van Gisbergen and your...
And what are they? Just all GT3
only
cars?
GT3 cars.
Yeah.
So the Audi LMSs, Evo 2s or whatever.
Okay,
and then the racing against Triple Eight, racing against all the big teams.
What we race on The Sims.
Yeah, the big teams, racing against the big teams with the big money and the big transporters and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, okay,
so
cool.
the plan is to go and run in that season.
We will be the little guy
We
in
will
the big
be
pond.
the little guy
Love
at
it.
that.
Yeah.
Love
The
it.
extreme little guy at
Love
that.
it. Love it.
And so the plan was to race that. And then, I've got sponsors and stuff that are wanting to go and do the 12-hour. But again, it's a big undertaking for a small team like that.
Huge,
so
isn't it?
I've got drivers and stuff that want to do it. I've got to find the right drivers. I've got to want to do it and see that, something like that, get enough backing to afford attempting
It's a big
something
commitment,
like that.
and it's a 12-month commitment outside.
Yeah,
of
so the goal is the 2025.
Yep.
So then I've got a whole season under my belt.
Yeah.
And a season with testing some other drivers as well.
Yeah, of course,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, and see how we all mesh together, how the team goes.
Well, we know a couple of boys. We could always ask a couple of V8 boys.
Yeah.
They're pretty easy.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to want to jump into a GT car because they are a hard car to get into.
Yeah.
There's definitely always been a lot of interest.
Yeah, you've had enough phone calls from people. Can I have a drive?
Yeah, it's surprising how much. Yeah,
Wow.
Because it's a sort of a crossover with the V8 supercars kind of thing. So and not many times do guys not come into that series as new cars and then also go, I have no drivers. They're not already a team of people with multiple backers going, we've come together to buy a car to then go and do this.
We would definitely be the oddball in that series.
It's grouse.
It's kind of like sticking it to the man sort of thing.
Yeah,
like
but that's
coming
good,
in.
man.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
So that's a goal with that car. And then, so we'd all plan that. That's why Summers Racing started.
Yep.
Was to then go and race that. Unfortunately, COVID just kept pushing us back. Otherwise, we probably would have already been racing. And then, so go and do this race, then possibly look at the 2025 12-hour.
Yeah, awesome.
And, obviously, we got the Hyper Racer, which then we raced for this entire season, which sort of filled up a lot of the time.
Yeah. that only happened because of how cheap and easy the Hyper Racer is to run.
Yeah.
If the Hyper Racer required half as much effort as what the Nismo costed, that would have happened either.
Yeah.
Because we both got young kids, but got
Yeah,
so
it's
much
just-
going
yeah.
on.
So the one
Mate.
time we took it down to Sandown, it was hiring of multiple vans, trucks, everything like that. It was a team of 8 to 10 people helping me do it. It was bringing tool cases, air
This is the
bottles,
GT3.
the GT3,
Yeah, GT3 car,
everything
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And that car to run for a weekend, can cost tens of thousands of dollars, not including repair costs and things. So you're pretty much, every time you're taking that car out, if you go into a race weekend, you're buying half a Hyper Racer. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
It's mad. It's madness.
it's madness, the scale differences between the two cars.
Yeah, no,
So,
it is. It's crazy.
Yeah. Especially when you consider that at Winton, the Hyper's faster.
yes. So the Hyper is faster around the tight tracks. And then you go into Bathurst, and obviously with the straights. and
Yeah,
like
anything
that.
with a long straight, it's quicker, but
Yeah.
it's
So-
close. It's close.
The selling point from John Crook and stuff was you're going to get in this car and you're not going to want to race an Ismo and everything like that. And I said,
Yeah.
so no, but that's still something that I want to do. I still want to get out and experience it.
Yeah.
And give it the best crack that I can. And then just go from there and decide what's the next step. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, that's big, mate. I mean, again, the ages we're talking here, to do that, to have that, mate, credit to you both, credit to you, mate, for the vision to do it. And it's now just, you're now got to hopefully enjoy it.
Yeah. There was a sort of a background motivation in the fact that I didn't know in my later life because of back problems that I may end up in a wheelchair. And so a big part of wanting a Lambo and everything like that was I said to, most people buy a Lambo at 50, 60, 70 years old and grant to them and have fun with it and enjoy it. I was worried I wouldn't be able to get into that kind of car. I wouldn't phically be able to get into it.
Strong
physically
motivation.
get into it. Not saying you can't drive them with, everything like,
no.
hand controls.
You won't be able to
everything like
walk by then.
Well, so I didn't want to. I wanted to be able to get in and out and enjoy it. So I said I've set myself a goal to go out and do this and do the racing and everything before that possibly ever happened. Yeah. So. Yeah.
It's a good motivator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome,
Definitely.
yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I guess we roll on to the hyper announcements.
Yes.
A lot has happened in the last
12 months. I mean, in the last week has been crazy.
last week has been insane.
Epic.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a new factory, which was a couple of doors down from Hyper Racer.
Literally like from unit
Freaks.
16 to unit 12
Yeah,
walk
awesome.
away.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's good. It was meant to be that way. That's right.
Yeah, and obviously with purchasing the car and running a car through the whole year, we sort of built a relationship with John Dean and showed what we were doing, and then they've just gotten busier and busier, and we were helping them run the cars and alongside running our own and everything like that. So with the whole getting the new factory so close to them, and we were wanting more of them and helping everyone out, we said we'd sit down for a dinner with them. And we've now, Summons Racing has officially become the customer racing for Hyper Racer.
Fantastic. Congratulations, guys. It's huge,
So,
mate.
It's
Well
awesome.
done,
Next
cheers.
year's going to be
Huge.
full on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be massive. Really, really well done.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Mate, just got to fucking keep chewing.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Mate,
Yeah.
Don't know the other way. That's the best way to be. Just keep fucking biting, keep chewing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the conversation was like blown our mind in the sense of how much there was to do in terms of storage, maintenance, running, everything, and helping them even manufacture the cars and everything like that.
Yeah,
So
building engines, painting components.
repairing engines.
Yeah.
everything. So
Actually, fuck, I've got to fucking... Fuck, I've got to ring fucking... Pachota, mate, I've got to give you a call. I need to talk to you about Suzuki.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Yes.
My mate
yes.
fucking runs Suzuki Australia.
yes.
So,
yep.
Michael, if you're watching, by the way, fuck, my fault. I'll call you.
You're buying a lot of motors.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the GM for Australia.
Yeah.
Don't need to talk, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I totally fucking forgot to mention it.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, so that's... So, what were we talking about?
New factory.
New
New
factory.
factory.
yeah.
So you've started.
So
moved in?
we've signed, and we'll be announcing after that. Like we're announcing at the Christmas party to all the owners, and then officially after that to everybody that we are the customer racing for Hyper Racer, which is So we will be looking after. John and Dean are just purely going to almost shut doors because the wait list has become so long. They're essentially just going to shut doors.
They can focus, and you guys look after that.
And
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
going to move
It's
every
perfect.
car to us, and we're just going to look after them and run them for them. So
They
that
can try and
focus.
get on top of it.
Get on top of it, yes.
Yeah.
Because there's so many customers that are coming and saying, we want a car, like yourself,
fantastic.
and going, I had to
Yeah.
wait a long time for it. And sometimes there are even people walking away because of that. So it's better that they can just get these cars built, and then we'll look after them for them. So
Fantastic. So will you guys... So those were saying to Nico before, okay, we don't know each other. I'm buying one, and I find out about you guys. Fucking grouse. So I can just leave with you. There's a race meeting.
Yep.
You guys can transport it.
transport it, yeah.
I rock up, put my helmet on,
And
go
go
racing,
racing.
get
Yep.
out, see you boys, See you, mate.
Yeah.
Bye.
So it'll be something that's discussed with people even when they go and purchase one. They'll be like, walk 2 doors down and we'll show you where they're stored, that they'll literally roll out of production. We'll even paint some of the panels and stuff that is helpful for the production, and then they'll get rolled out, they'll see that, and they'll go displayed with all the other cars. They can see and who's looking after and where it gets, and we can, pretty much you can get an arrive and drive. You don't have to go out and spend 20 grand on a trailer or whatever you want to do.
And that's the thing, is giving them those options where, they don't have the time, they're too busy. I asked them, I said, well, how many cars... Okay, if they're switched on blokes like you, you'd work on your own car.
Yeah, and there will always be owners who work on their own cars.
And they can come in and do it at our place, or
that's
what
what I'm going to say.
And do it themselves.
But I think as the category is growing and people are realising that this is actually pretty special. I mean, I haven't even been out on one yet, but I know when I do and we go, I know Steve and I will be like, just going, all right, here.
Look up, business owners that just simply don't have the time.
That's what I was going to say. Guys like us, which will be more blokes, will be coming into it going, it's fucking grouse.
There's already a lot in it as well that are struggling, and that's why they're relying on Dean to do it, kind of thing.
And that's why it's perfect. And as it grows, you just you stack them and off you go.
Just bring it. Yeah,
so you can tick the boxes if you want the full beans, and you destroy your front wing and someone else. Well, by the next race, your car's ready to go again.
You're just rocking up with your suit and your helmet, and you can just go and race, and you can go off and you can go and do your business meetings, and the car will be ready for you for the next race.
That's
you don't have to worry about
perfect.
it. So.
That's perfect. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, we had we look after a handful of cars at the moment.
Yeah.
And we had one of them where the steering rack just got completely destroyed.
Yeah.
And just
off you go.
Worked on the car, fixed it. By the time he needed it for the next race meeting, car's ready to go.
Yeah, and he'd been travelling around Australia doing talks and stuff like that. He just doesn't have time to look at that, And he loves, tinkering and servicing his own car and stuff. And we say, look, if you've got time, come in and do it. But then, it just, everyone gets busy and everything like that. And the next thing they know, and it's like, I've just wrecked my car. I need it fixed for the next race weekend. And it's like, well, get it all done. It's ready to go. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
Take that stress away from people. So
awesome.
And we're set right next to the manufacturer.
And that's just perfect, honestly.
Any questions, if there's any parts that need to be made, it's literally...
Yeah, it's perfect.
And we've been talking about wanting to, we've sort of obviously had a little bit of a race shop in the sense of what we've been doing with the Nismo, but we've always talked that we wanted to grow, and grow and grow and grow. And so this is sort of, we've said for the last 10 years, we've wanted our own shop. And so Summers Racing is now officially moving into a big shop.
It's fantastic.
It's about 600 square metres type of thing. We'll have hoists and everything like that. And we will work on any race car. Someone from the company say, I want performance brakes. We have brakes, connections, everything like that. So we'll get busy on other stuff as well. But it's been the ability now for all the guys that have been part of the race team that come down for a race weekend or help us build that car that are now able to go, well, I can make this my full-time job. Which is the dream of working on race cars every day.
Of course, definitely.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And it's like this good crew that are just growing together.
Yeah. Well, we're pretty
as you're all morphing as the brand, or as you're now developing, like where you were fucking say 3 years now, all of a sudden now, hang on, we're going to get busier now. We're going to now look after this full race series. And that's going to grow. And hang on, we need to be a factory in it. And we're all family anyway. That's the thing. We've become completely a family. We're all hanging out outside of work, and all the wives know each other and everything like that. So it's just it does make it easier.
Yeah,
it does. Otherwise, it's fucking too hard.
It's almost like the YTG family running this place.
Well, in a sense, you have to do it that way, man, because it's. A lot of people don't see the vision on that, and I respect that. They just they only see certain things of it. But like I said, I keep saying there's no fucking elevator, mate. It's a stairs. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. But you need that because you need to be able to rely on that.
Yeah, finding that type of person that wants to sees a dream and goes, I can see a dream of themselves inside that.
Yes.
And I'm very big on, like Nico and everyone else doing their own thing and succeeding, because I want everyone to succeed.
Same ethos.
I'm just there to, exactly. Just I'm here to support you in doing that and what your dreams are.
Let's all go on this journey together.
Yeah.
And let's just fucking make this happen.
Yeah.
And for us collectively and individually.
Yeah.
And but for the main goal, the main vision.
Yeah.
Of this is where we're going.
Yeah.
And there's making sure every fucking prick's rowing the same way.
Yeah.
That's the
exactly
key.
right.
And that's the biggest key.
Yeah.
And it's not always hard. It's not always easy to do either.
No.
And that's the thing. If you can get them all on board and you can all nurture together, that's some power to. Well, you're getting there. That's where it is. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. And that's what people sort of thought. Like, why did I buy a Hyper for Nico to race kind of thing? And it was just sort of like, well, it was a way of supporting him and what his dreams were. I got a bit of driving practice out of it, but it was just, again, I mean, what's ended up happening from
I was going to say, but look at...
what's happened. Well, it was never the plan, but it was really just, we wanted the racing dream, and we've even had days where we got to go to Broadford and I borrowed one of the other guys' cars and we got to go racing together.
Yeah,
so
good.
that was just unbelievable.
At that point, we're driving home and we've got our AirPods in. We're talking to each other and we're just going,
how good was this?
Today we lived the dream.
Yeah, man.
Today, that was it. Like, if we had unlimited money and we were doing everything we wanted to do, today is it.
I was going to say, mate, just because I had more money, it wouldn't have been any more special.
Yeah,
it was just one of those good days.
Yeah,
it
was perfect.
Yeah, special.
Yeah,
mate, well done. That's awesome. So big year, 24.
24 is going to be massive, and I mean 2025 for Hyper Racer in general, for us, for them, for the series, everything is going to be
huge,
massive. We're going to have fields of 30, 35, 40 cars.
Yeah.
It's potentially going onto the national stage if there's enough drivers that are interested to do it. It's just growing at an exponential rate. I mean, anyone that you talk to inside the Hyper Racer family, or kind of all the current owners, you know what it's like. They're a tight-knit community. You ask any of them if 6 months ago they thought anything that was happening now would have been happening, and there was no way. And it's like every 6 months that's been happening. The rate,
the jump,
that things have just
the
been
progress is
progressing.
grouse.
No one could have seen any of this coming. It's just,
and
it's a product that is just so perfect.
I mean, you
it
know
works,
far better than me, but from the few times that I've met John, he's a good person.
Yeah.
And I actually love the way that they live a sort of similar way that I do, in the sense that a lot of people say with supercars, make sure you have the money to buy them and everything like that. I'm very much at buy something. Nico knows me very bad for this. Buy something and force myself to find the money to pay for it later.
Yeah.
Because if I go, I need to find that money by that date.
Won't happen.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like
out.
I have no choice.
Yeah,
and human bodies.
I'm
And they were very similar in the conversation we had with the other night. They're like, we were going to buy a whole shipping container of tyres, which we had no idea where we were going to put them. We have all these cars that we're going to build, but we had no idea where we were going to put them. And then
just make it work.
Just going to make it work. And then it's like, by chance, you guys are here, and now we're going to use your factory and you guys and everything like that. They're like, we had no idea what the next step was in terms of how we were going to make this work. We'd already bought it and we're doing this, and it's just like by chance. And I said, that's the thing. You force the universe and yourself to make it happen, and it seems to happen.
We bought Elfin Car Company.
Yeah. You bought a manufacturer.
Yeah, not like that.
Fucking clue.
Yeah. Just go for it.
Fucking mate.
When Nico told me, I was like, that's crazy. Like,
mate,
it's just...
I just said, mate, I'm going to be a bear, be a fucking grizzly, mate. And I said to him, well, we just do it. That's why I love it, because I just think, fuck, you know what I mean? It's just grouse, you know what I mean? Because it's the same ethos, the same philosophy. Mate, I'm fucking dead a long fucking time, mate.
Yep.
Whilst I'm here, I'm going to fucking make it mine.
Yep. No need to sleep. Just get it done.
Mate, that's it, mate. I get all the fucking sleep I need when I'm dead.
Yeah.
I fucking say now, I'm texting 2:30 in the morning. I'll hang upside down, mate.
Yeah.
It's just, mate, you've got to juice it as much as you can. And I'm finding that as I'm getting older, I'm getting more of the juice than I did when I was younger.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
It's the opposite. So you guys, I think it's fucking awesome that the way you're doing it. I was in a totally different scenario in that sort of my 20s and 30s, but you know what I mean? It's grouse to see it now. Like, I mean, I always think, fuck, I wish it would be, it just wasn't the opportunities, or just wasn't the way the life was going. But like this, I listen to it, I go, yeah, man, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you can do it now and you're enjoying it. It's even much better now. You know what I mean? Plus, you guys have had kids young.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's big difference, you know what I mean? Like, I've got mates who are kids young, and I mean, and you look at now when the age, when my age and the kids are that.
The age of people have kids now, young, not back then, but now we're
that's what I mean. I think it's really cool the way it's all sort of morphing and going, and then it's. I mean, your kids got no fucking chance of fucking not loving cars.
Oh yeah,
I can't get my daughter out of the cars. She thinks Dad goes to work. He does race cars. She goes, Daddy work race cars, and she sits in the Hyper and puts your gloves on and sits there and tries to sit on. And she goes, can I drive? Like she won't get out.
We just have to make sure she doesn't pull the old extinguisher.
Yeah, she plays with the fire too. So we're like, don't play with that. She's playing with your brake bias and stuff. And like,
she was like that at the start. Not that I race cars, but just the cars sort of stuff. She had no choice. I have a son, so I've got my daughter's got to, like, by the time she was 4, she had 3 electric cars, but they were electric. What could I say?
We got a little
What could I
McLaren,
do?
we got a little McLaren for her that she drives around.
What could I do?
Yeah.
I actually, I can't. Rita wouldn't let me buy a fucking go-kart, so I bought her. She had an ML63, she had an 300S, and then she had a fucking, what was it, an SLK or SLR. She had fucking 3 of these grouse.
so good.
What can you do? Richie increased the battery, put a bigger battery
Oh, they go nuts with
they go
bigger
quick
batteries
when you
in
do
them.
that.
and it was remote control. And I'm watching my niece, and she's like, "Fuck at this going sideways," and he's laughing. But that thing started catching fire because there was too much power. But
They're
like,
quick.
oh mate, it was just grouse. But it's cool, man. You know what I mean? Like you said, you just sort of see it. But now she's like not interested. Now it's
Okay. It's
12, and the
yeah.
you know just the
Moved on.
the face shit and things I don't
Makeup
fucking
and
know.
all that, yeah.
Well, yeah, I can't. I'm still
Yeah.
struggling to deal with that shit. But in saying that, but it's like you're not really that interested. I mean, I took it the other day in a Ferrari. I mean, only because I happened to give it a run, and
Yeah.
I'm more conscious taking it to school than that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But a million blokes, a million kids are like, "Oh, you're taking the Ferrari?" She's like, "Yeah, just it's one of the ones." You know, like she doesn't give a
Yeah.
fuck. You know what I mean? And they're like, "Wah!"
Yeah.
Other boys are like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
But I guess that's the thing. If you're around it a lot, I mean, we sort of talk about this. Like we chase the excitement of the next car that's the faster and faster and faster. And it's like getting a supercar now. It does not give me the same fuzz as what it did 10 years ago.
Correct.
And so you're chasing that next thing. And so I guess with the kids, they've grown up around it, so it's not quite the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
it is.
It's sort of not special to them
Yeah,
in the way.
desensitised
They're
to it.
desensitized.
It is.
to
It is.
You know?
They do very much so.
How good's the school run in a supercar though?
Well, you know it's fucking funny because you go up the top and it's the typical the mum drop. It's the typical, you know what I mean? Like you got the fucking the black, silver, white, the same thing. You know what I mean? And I had to fall in the black Range Rover. That's what all the mums want. So that's what Reet wants. So that's what they all want. And then you sit there and you go, which one's which? You don't know which one's which.
Yeah.
And then I'm fucking pull up in the morning and one of those fucking fezzes, and I'm walking Sienna down, and we just get immune to it. And you're walking up, and it just up on the hill.
Yeah.
This stands out. Well, you just see the top of it because all the 4-wheel drives above it. And you just see this and you go, yeah, that stands out like dog's balls, mate. You know what I mean? It really does. And then you just see all the young kids, all the young boys.
Going nuts.
Oh yeah.
We get in there and give a fuck.
Yeah.
And then the next day, Reese going, because she's in bed or whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you take the Ferrari? I mean, yeah, because the mums.
The mums all. The mums
talk.
yeah.
The mums talk. I don't fucking know.
God, that was like some of the best times with Targa Florio was some of the school visits that they would take us on. And you would, even in the rain with the umbrella, there would be hundreds of these kids with signs, and they'd give us cards and stuff like that they'd drawn themselves and everything like that. And they loved us because Targa Florio is generally mostly classic cars and stuff like that.
Yeah, correct.
And we come in with the loud things, revving and stuff like that. And I was just going nuts for it.
There's just something about showing off to school kids.
But it's especially those country school, like we've done some of that
country
stuff.
schools,
The country
that's what
schools,
yeah.
man, and
they never see it.
They never see that stuff, man. It's good.
We're building the future car nuts.
I hope
and that's
so.
what
Literally.
I see it. It's
I
just
hope
about
so.
showing that, this is what a cool car is about, so that then they will fall in love with it and be more car nuts in the future.
100%.
I do.
So.
I'm worried that we are losing it with that younger generation, but especially if their parents aren't car people.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them that aren't.
But a lot of them are, and the whole electric thing. And
as much as that kid may have that, can't help himself, fucking red Ferrari Matchbox car, it won't be sort of encouraged or...
Yeah.
It is unusual to break. Like, your dad was into cars and stuff like that. My old man didn't really have... Like, he had cars and stuff like that, but never sports cars or anything like that. So they were also like, why have you got an interest in cars? I was a break of mold kind of thing. So
totally.
My kids were,
we were discussing this earlier. Amongst all my mates growing up, we play the cricket in the street and all that usual bullshit, whatever stuff, or BMX, that sort of stuff. But I was the one who had the car collection and just loved my cars. And, just as a kid, the blanket, and you just fucking play like roads and stuff like that. And even as we were growing up, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, whatever, I really just love my cars, whereas a lot of them were in sports or whatever whatever. I know, just amazing. And then I look back now, well, fuck, I'm one of the only few cunts that got into cars, you know what I mean? And all the usual bullshit, that everyone does. But so I'm going, fuck yeah, maybe, okay, it really was. And listening to Chris Harris talking about it.
Yeah.
And when I was listening to his podcast, he was the same thing. He goes, when I was a young kid, I really loved my cars. And I had my cars. I used to take them to the family's place, and my mum would take them out. She would, and And if my cousin hooked her because I always had good cars, my mum went back there the next day and she fucking steal it back. She go, I'm missing. But just, and he was talking, he goes, oh, I was the only one with the cars. And now, obviously, he's been privileged to do what he does and all that stuff. You just know it's in your...
Yeah, it's in your DNA.
You just don't.
You can't help yourself.
No, and that's for the love of that, you can appreciate anything.
Any car.
And that's a special thing, man. And this is where a lot of people, they don't get it. I don't know. It has to have a certain badge. It has to have a certain way. And see, to me, that's not a car lover.
No.
I don't know. Everyone's different as car lovers. But to me, I can find, like I said, I can find the joy in most cars. It doesn't matter. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's
my first drive, I think I was like 12 or 13, and my old man used to do hang gliding. We used to go out in the big paddocks out in Central Australia, and they got stuck where they needed to move one of the cars from one side of the paddock to the other side of the paddock. Obviously not real roads, these tracks. Yeah. And they're like, just putter it along at 50 kilometres an hour and get this car from here to here. And they said, we saw the dust trail for miles because I just booted the thing. And this is like this, and I'm just getting air and just forward drive. And I get out and they're like, what were you doing? I could barely see the speedo. I had no idea what I was doing, you know. But the grin was huge, and it didn't matter. And that went from that. I bought a Pathfinder, learned to drift in my parents' paddock, and I didn't care because I'm like, I didn't care what the car was. It was just the experience of cars and what the smiles that they.
We were talking about it before. Maddox and that, they've got like 10 acres or whatever it is, right? And they're building this cart.
Nice.
A go-kart track. Dirt go-kart. So we're all
always
dirt
dreamed
go-karts,
about doing something like that. But
and I said to myself, but I wanted to go and buy paddock bashes like we did ages ago. We'll just go and buy a bunch of fucking cars for $500 grand each and just fucking take them out there and just helmets and off we go.
Yeah.
And we're having so much fun talking about buying $1,500 shitters and taking them out there and just wringing the nets out of it.
Yeah.
And we're blessed to be around shit all like this special stuff all the time. But that shows you the pureness of just loving cars.
Yeah.
Hence the diversity when we have a car. And that's what it is. It's just the pureness of having that fun. Like you said, you're wringing the fucking neck out of your Barina. And But that's what you had. I was fucking driving around my Sigma with B45 Simmons thinking I was gangster. You know what I mean? I was just thinking I was grouse. You know what I mean? Weber stickers on the side and didn't even have Weber still. But it was good.
You look back and go, I wish I could get the smiles out of that sort of cars. And
we were talking about it again. Schoolmates, we're fortunate. We were a couple of schoolmates were mates from when we were 15, 14. When we had no money, how much money you got on you? Fucking $5, $8, $10, pack of smokes, full tank of juice. Where we going? Who gives a fuck? Let's go.
Yeah.
And more fun then. Now, all very successful in various different ways and whatever the case may be and all that shit. The pureness of what it was.
We used to drive all the way down to Ryde just for an ice cream and back.
We drove to Adelaide. We drove to fucking the border just because we did. Fucking Nick. Remember Nick with the sim? Yeah, all of us, all of Jimmy, all in the same thing. Just go up to Donna Buang in a Kingswood station wagon on fuck tyres on icy fucking roads.
Excellent.
Just crazy batshit stuff. Driving down, just
good old days.
Man, fucking lights on. Fuck, did a run up. Just crazy stuff. But like you said, that was the pureness, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that's why you guys are lucky you're able to do it at this level, young, you know what I mean, compared to some others. But you know what I mean, and that's special.
I feel lucky that we got to at least experience a few years of what that was back then. You know, the driving. You know, I got to drive a twin turbo Supra. It used to cost $5,000 back then, and you know these kind of cool cars. And there wasn't much cop presence, and there was the fun and the ability to go for a cruise in something that was decked out that you cared about, and not being worried and looking over your shoulder constantly, and going out cruising with your mates. And I'm glad that we got to experience that because that's what built our love of cars. And moved on to what we are now. So
I think maybe a lot of it's. Do you reckon a lot of it's curtailed because it's so restricted and so? So
I was wondering this the other day because I feel the same way. I feel like you can't go for a drive now like you could back then, and I feel like there's so much more police presence on the road. You're so much more likely to get caught. Blah, 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 everything else because of the experience I had in my life and how much things I could get away with back then that I can't now. So I naturally go, things have tightened down. Definitely in terms of like in suburbia and stuff. For sure, things have tightened down. But I go and talk to Ariel's younger brother who is pretty much still in that highway phase of his life now.
Yeah.
And the batshit crazy stuff him and his friends do. Oh
So it's
my
still
god!
Get away with.
So it's still happening.
Yeah.
You can clearly still do it. There's probably an element of luck, everything else.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, it's
I mean, we've been lucky pretty much with cops over the years anyway, in the sense of just good, being car nuts and being open with them rather than being like, oh, we're a hoon and we're here to thrash tyres.
Yep.
I think it was always because we maybe the nicer end of cars sometimes, but then it was always just go and like be open with them and be like, well, we're just doing a nice drive. You know what I mean? How to experience it. That you always say I've got a lucky streak with them, but I could talk my way out of it. But
oh mate, the way he can talk his way out of a police altercation is unbelievable.
But so I've been lucky on that at least. But touch wood. So it's been good.
It's been awesome. Well, I think we've ticked over an hour.
Probably have.
Yeah, we're right on. We're bang on.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, wow,
Thank you very much for joining us, mate.
Quick, yeah.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for joining, and congratulations again, guys. It's huge.
Yeah, we've
Well
got
done.
some big exciting stuff to
Big
come.
things
with
coming.
Hyper and everything like that. I've got my other own projects. I've got the Hyper X1 Evo that I want to build. I'm gonna build
Yeah,
my
we haven't
own
even
car.
talked about that. Yeah, so really quickly, 5 seconds, recap that.
So the X1 Evo is a evolution of what is the Hyper Racer. The plan is to essentially take a base Hyper Racer and build all custom aerodynamic carbon fiber parts, build the motor to be about 800 horsepower, turbo motor, and be running overrun and be, running DRS with the carbon. Just completely nuts, wider tyres, just redesigning the whole car. So essentially the chassis will be the same, but we're talking paddle shift, we're talking ABS, everything, So it is going to be a complete upgrade of the car. One-off build is the plan at the moment, obviously. And the goal with that is to go around Australia and try and beat every track record. Yeah.
But would they allow you because of what that is? Like, for example, let's just say there's a certain track record at Phillip Island, argument's sake, and it's what would it be, an open wheel, or would it be a
if we can get under,
or?
if we can get under AASA, so any track that allows AASA, yes, we're fine. Motorsport Australia tracks are different.
Yeah, so it will be, there'll be unofficial track records that we'll beat. Obviously, we'll try and beat. And then, obviously, where Hyper Racer go and do races, there will be a special category just for that one car kind of thing, so that we can then go and run it in official races.
And then
that we can
under race conditions.
Under race conditions. So I will still have the normal Hyper Racers out there with me and trying to set the track record around the other Hyper Racers kind of thing is the plan. So the plan is to try and do the Australian ones, and then if we succeed in that, then go overseas and stuff like that. And also just being an Australian-made car, and then with my team to try and build this car and get as close to what, I know it sounds crazy, but an Australian-built Formula One car. Not built with the...
Up until recent times, this is how Formula One cars were made. This is how Cooper and Brabham and Elfin, this is how these things were done.
They've morphed, they've just grown, and just especially with Elfin.
Chapman made all these Formula One cars just by...
So I obviously don't have to conform to any of what is the modern rules.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to take what
it's a
was
full
all
Frankenstein.
we've done so much research on this to grab all the different rules and things that people have done over the years and go, where did they make an advantage? And let's implement all of them in one car, right? Because there is no rules. And how can we put all of these things that gave them advantages over the years?
Wow.
And use them to make one ultimate really quick car.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I don't think I'll drive it. I don't think I've got the balls to drive it.
I'll
drive it.
We're a little bit unsure of, so the plan is...
I won't go for lap record attempts in it.
No, so
You'd probably get a pro driver.
I will get a professional drive
get a pro driver.
It will be
James.
scary and dangerous. Dangerous. Yeah, so Supercar drive. Anyway, maybe Cam Waters or James or something like that.
We've got no issue with drivers. We can get all the drivers.
Someone to give it a go. So obviously, I want to drive it.
Of course.
Yeah, I want to drive it too, but I don't want to drive it on the limit.
But I think when you're going to go, get to that fortunate position, which I know you will, where you're going, okay, now we're doing it official. We're going to break this lap record. You need to get someone that's fun.
Yeah, that is the plan.
You have
Someone
to.
that is, going to really go for it.
You have to.
So that is...
Can't get a factory works driver. You need to get an outside professional driver.
You mean I'm not a professional?
No, well, you're a factory works driver, but maybe get an outside ring in.
Yeah,
the factory teams do.
Second opinion.
Yeah, so, to go that. And then, if we succeed in Australia, possibly take it overseas. But
well, if you succeed in Australia, I fucking guarantee you, you're going overseas because people are going to go, what the fuck was that? And let's get it over here.
Let's get it over there. So that will take time. It is a slow process. We've already started building the custom carbon parts. We're already getting it all together and working it and drawing it and everything like that.
Yeah.
So,
and how is John with all of them? And that's obviously instead of you're going to do this for your own thing, for your own car sort of thing.
So John and Dean are very excited about it.
Yeah.
They've always talked about a turbo version.
I was going to say, it shows you the potential of what this could be if you go open checkbook, just fucking build something stupid.
Yes, pretty much.
To a sense.
To a sense. So most guys go, they get in and go, oh, I'd love a turbo version. Then they drive it and go, I think a little bit more power would be scary and I don't want to do that.
I was going to say,
and
probably
they'd
be too
always
much.
talked about building a turbo version. Unfortunately, with how how busy they are, it's just sort of that whole plan got put on the.
You guys can be
burners.
the you can be that like skunk works in the corner sort of fucking doing
and
that.
what this this Evo
Freaky Friday shit.
Is something that is so left wing and so custom that unless you are simply like with the networking system and the team of people to build this, you wouldn't go out and build that. It wouldn't be the normal custom.
If you didn't have that perfect store of what you have now, it's not possible.
So
true.
So we're going to build that as a one-off to be the ultimate of what So they're excited to see what it does. Dean's excited to drive it. I'm excited for him to drive it and go, this is what your baby that you made can potentially become when you give it someone essentially like a nuts go at it.
Which would be the affiliated.
Yeah, which is the Hyper Racer Customer Racing anyway.
So you want to go nuts?
So,
you want to go real
which
nuts?
is also
How nuts do you want to go? Brazil nuts or do you want to go
which
nuts?
is a product of
How
showing...
nuts do you want to go, mate?
A product of showing of what our team that looks after all the normal Hyper Racers go, well, this is art. This is art and this is what we can create.
Yeah.
If someone ever wanted to buy it, yes, we can create it again. But, it shows that what the team is capable and looking after your car, we're going to be perfectly fine. So.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That would be
look,
crazy.
there's a lot on the go and everything's changing at such a rate at the moment. It's a whole 6 months ago, no one would have guessed. I mean, let's do this again in 12 months' time and see what happened.
Mate, exactly
Let's just see how far we got. I mean,
it'd be huge.
Sky's the limit.
We talked there 5 years ago or something that we we got together to make a T-shirt brand or something like that.
Yeah, we had a clothing company.
We started a clothing company and we had a big launch party and everything like that. Was the one I was driving the Superleggera to, and that was our first business. Because I was a business investor and that was our first other business that we were going to do together. And unfortunately, the shop that we had it in burnt down and we lost all the stock in a fire.
That was the end of that.
And that was the end of it because we start and then this big thing happened and we went, oh well, that's where it's gonna end. We'll go on to something else. But who would have known all back then?
Man, but that's
crazy.
And that's why when you look back, as again this journey, which just sounds grouse, and listen to the journey. You're gonna look back at different stages where you're both gonna go, fuck yeah, now it makes sense, and you're like, fuck, look at the ping pong. Fuck, I wouldn't have picked that to there, mate. I do that all the fucking time now. And I sit back and I look back and go, over 10 years ago, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Fuck me. If only I knew, I'd have just gone, no stress, man. I know exactly. You always believe in yourself.
Yeah.
But the journey, like I said, you will. Like even now, you're looking back and going,
wow.
Because look at this.
Yeah. You sort of have these ideas in the future, like 12 Hour and the Evo and stuff like that. It's like, oh, will we get the money? Will we get the sponsors? And then will this happen? And we were always driving towards it. But I guess that's what we did to get to where we are. We've seen where we are now. And but you don't picture it and then it happens and it's crazy. So,
no, man, it's grouse. Power to you. No, it's good. Shining. Well done.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
Thank you for having me.
No, mate, we'll see you. We'll see you a lot next year.
Yeah,
it'll be good.
Definitely be back.
We got a whole bunch of rounds at Calder this year, 3 of them. So come check us out.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll do a little thing after Steve and I get in them.
Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to drive it. Yeah, we'll talk about that on the podcast once you guys do it. And
it's going to be done.
Yeah, excited for you to experience it.
Yeah, I am. I'm really, especially after seeing those two go out there.
Yeah.
And the differences between them.
Yeah.
And that's why I was talking to Steve and I go, mate, can't fuck it, mate. We work hard. Let's just do something and enjoy it. You know what I mean? For one decent GT3 car new.
Yeah.
And I can buy fucking 3 of those fucking
Yeah.
jets, mate.
Yeah, at
And
least,
run
at
them
least.
for 10
No,
years.
no. That's what I mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And get as much, if not more,
Yeah.
thrill factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's open.
Being open is
that's
just.
what I mean.
It's just yeah. 'Cause
total immersion.
Yeah, because I jumped in it and then jumped back in an RS5 Targa car that we had,
Yeah.
and it was literally I got back in the pits and I said to Nick, "I'm selling the Targa car." I'm like, that just felt like a brick. So,
Yeah, that's what I want to
Yeah.
experience. I've never
Yeah.
driven an open wheel or that.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
it will
so
blow
to
your
me, it
mind,
would be
yeah.
just it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. No, power to you, boys. Well done.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you for another episode soon.
Take care. Have a good week.